I feel like we've kind of been ignoring the elephant in the room on all of this. I'm sure at least that you have heard the most current news regarding the Epstein files, and that Trump directed Bondi to open an investigation
Hmm.
into specific. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
So we are going to be right back to square one as far as any new information go.
Uh,
It's
I don't know if that's entirely true. I think
I hope I'm wrong.
like I don't I think that as far as new information
But I mean, this is
goes,
this is all what hasn't been released. Anything that has not yet been publicly released that could be affected by this vote is now going to not be able to be released because it's going to be part of a pending investigation.
yeah, so only the stuff I think the thing is that it's just like what would be like normally admissible. We don't need anything from the Epstein files that would prove the general idea that Epstein sex trafficked women and that Ghislaine
Yeah,
Maxwell assisted. That is, these people have been incarcerated for this shit. Uh,
yeah,
if
yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if
This
not,
is
maybe
settled.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that doesn't need to be established at all. And things that specifically mention, let's say, for example, Larry Summers. Yeah, but it might be hidden behind that. But anything that mentions Trump, who apparently comes up more than 1,000 times in this email release, plus anything that comes up about anybody that's not somebody that's named in this investigation by Pam Bondi, that is still available. That is still, you know what I mean? Like if there's more emails, if there's other documents, right? If
yeah.
there's any of that shit that's out there that hasn't been released yet, that's still available to be released. It just can't be directly implicated. As far as I understand. But
In a normal functioning legal framework, I would say yes, but giving them this advantage when we know, like we've established, that our loyal, humble idiots will hang themselves with procedure,
mhm.
while Trump and all like take this and throw it all in the wood chipper and call it a day. It just seems to open the door for so much fucking chicanery.
I think that a legitimate God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. This has come up a couple of times that we've talked recently, but I can't believe it's going to be brought up here. But legitimately, the biggest wrench in the works, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The fissure in the
Who to
MAGA
thunk it?
movement, the
Who to
fissure in the
fucking
MAGA
thunk it?
movement on Epstein could be enough to make it so that if there even if Trump is able, and Pam Bondi, who's like complicit in a deep cover up, obviously, that
She is
goes
lady finish.
that is so like at this point is just proving to be as dark and like misanthropic as you could imagine. Um,
Yeah.
Even if they are able to suppress new information getting out there, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a fissure in the MAGA movement in Congress could legitimately kill this. It it really could.
It could.
And it's building a lot of momentum, especially with like and listen, don't get me wrong.
It's
This whole
definitely a
this
desperation move. Like, don't
mm,
get me wrong on that one. Like, I'm
mm.
not saying this is gonna have the desired effect for them. I'm just saying that like this is what they're going for.
Yeah.
It's an outright last-ditch attempt to suppress anything and everything that they can still suppress and retract and redact as much that has been already made public as possible,
Mhm.
while obfuscating and muddying the waters on anything and everything that is already out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, like, it's a very multi-pronged strategy on their end vis-a-vis dealing with all of this.
I think
And
one
I mean,
thing
first order of business is stopping the floodgates, stopping the bleeding, and not letting anything new that can be even further incriminating get out, which is this is the biggest step in that regard.
I think
As
one thing that
far as
really
stopping that bleeding.
I think one thing that really hurts them in that legitimately, even if they stop the bleeding, once again, like every move that they make since they ran on it, since Donald Trump legitimately ran on releasing the Epstein files and starting a transparent, thorough investigation into everybody that was involved into this
Sure, Donnie.
worldwide sex trafficking ring, right? Since they literally ran on it, it's a little tough for them to walk away from, as well as you've got people in the Democratic Party that are not afraid to say, not even on the furthest left side of the Democratic Party, but in the Democratic establishment, even that are totally okay with saying, "Yeah, I don't care if Bill Clinton's in the files,
Yeah.
release them.
If he's in there, fucking
If
do
he's
it.
in there, get him out of here."
Whatever the collateral damage is, whoever
Right,
is in there.
right,
I don't care if it's fucking President Obama. Like,
right.
and like that's again part of the cult mentality.
Hmm.
Is that like they they can't understand that we don't have our personalities, that my ego isn't tied to Barack Obama the way theirs is to Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Like there's a certain kind of projection of the way that they see the world onto us, and
But it's brittle. It's brittle because you've got
it is.
uh uh the waning of his influence in that space as he becomes more and more addled, because as he becomes more and more decrepit, both physically and mentally, mostly mentally, as crazy as that is to say. uh, but
Fucking rotting pumpkin, Jesus.
but like whether Marjorie Taylor Greene is a shrewd political mover and opportunist, or whether she actually believed in Donald Trump and is now disillusioned because of his constant attempts to do everything he can, with Pam Bondi assisting and Kash Patel assisting, and to suppress Epstein files. Um, what it doesn't matter which one of those two things is true. A
I think it
fissure
can
in the
honestly be a
magnitude
little bit of all three.
yeah, I mean, fair. And like, but the fissure is opening, and Trump's going after more Republicans. It's not just Rand Paul. He's been pissed at Rand Paul forever because Rand Paul
Oh
doesn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
always vote Republican in a very safe way. Like, because Donald Trump doesn't understand what it means to have controlled opposition within the party. Um, but he went after Thomas Massey. I wanted to read this truth that he put out about Thomas Massey,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Republican
Please,
representative
please do.
from Kentucky. Um, did so Thomas Massey, just to give a little bit of insight, I believe it was
Uh.
early last year, spring last year, Thomas Massey's wife died. So context for this. Did Thomas Massey, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr., because of the fact that he always votes against the Republican Party, get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life, Thomas. And question mark, his wife will soon find out that she's stuck with a loser. And like, listen, I
Oh,
know I Thomas Massey probably has the
Why?
same kind of spine as Ted Cruz, where Ted Cruz had no problem prostrating himself before Trump after the shit that Trump said about his wife. Sure, that's very likely to be the case. But he keeps lashing out, and he keeps acting in ever more erratic ways. It honestly, it's surprisingly, it's another relationship. It's another shared attribute that he has with Hitler, and Hitler's
Yeah,
last days of just lashing out and within
very
party structure and
erratic,
without, and
and yeah,
yeah, yes, yes, and like
a lot of that was the methamphetamine, but there's no telling what combination of Adderall and God knows what the fuck Trump is on either. So
well, so he's got a tenuous grasp on reality. He's like regularly flubbing
and the
normal things.
dementia, yeah.
Yeah, like he's regularly flubbing normal things, like confusing South America and South Africa. He's like free associating without punchlines, basically, and like constantly talking about cognitive tests, and is like constantly bringing up running for a third term, which like any reasonably calculating shithead just wouldn't give away the game by talking about it so openly and letting Steve
Yeah.
Bannon go out there and talk about it. But whatever. But yeah, so we've got let me switch this over. Boop, boop.
It's just like one little trial balloon after another. Like they're
True.
slowly
Yeah.
sort of like
Just drop
putting
the
the
idea
idea
out
out
there.
there, normalizing it.
The Illuminati puts secret messages, subliminal messages into all of our movies to get us primed and ready for the alien takeover. No, actually, it's
Yep.
just Bannon does a shitty interview and says, Donald Trump could definitely win a third term.
Goddamn
Um,
fuck Steve Bannon.
so here's well, Donald Trump talking about a third term.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans
Oh
for him
Lord.
to be able to run
Let's
and
see,
potentially
watch
win a
stream,
third
I
term in
guess.
2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the court to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know, but I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars, and a ninth is coming. I believe Russia, Ukraine will happen.
You said that for 2028, there are very good people.
Well, we have great people. Well, I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have
Little Marco.
JD, obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that. I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers. If you read it, am I not ruling it out? I mean, you'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't. They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine. The first couple of questions are easy: a tiger, an elephant, a giraffe. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
The readout for Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what
I
that
did.
was?
I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah.
Can you tell
I
us
mean,
what it
I gave you the full results. We had
I got an MRI. It was perfect. Like,
What a fucking buffoon. Jesus Christ. Like, I
it's
got an MRI. It was like,
perfect.
where's Rodney? We need Rodney Dangerfield to play him in like a stupid ass comedic version. of the
The
Trump
doctor
years.
said the plaques on my brain were Picasso. Like,
I guess Seth Meyers in a fat suit will be the best we can get, but I'll take it.
it's gonna be Jimmy Fallon.
Ew, gross. Fuck Jimmy Fallon.
It's gonna be Jimmy
I
Fallon
mean,
on
I
steroids.
really feel good about the fact that I've always fucking hated Jimmy Fallon, so I'm gonna just continue to vigorously fucking hate Jimmy Fallon.
It's
I didn't hate him before. He was just like obnoxious and douchey, and I never liked him. And
it's
now I
being on
just
the right side
really,
of history.
really don't. Yeah,
On
yeah,
the right
yeah,
side of history, there, my friend.
yeah.
Trump's his grasp on reality is just like slipping more and more every day, and again, in the relations, the like Hitler, right? One, his personal horrific, like, personal qualities, where, in Trump it's his not just his normal belligerence, but also his potential involvement in the Epstein sex trafficking ring. That definitely splinters some of the party around him, but also he's constantly.
But man, they're rallying real hard. They're finding ways to rally and just like at the very least be fucking quiet as a church mouse. Like,
Mhm, mhm,
where is the outcry
mhm.
from any Republican just with what we've seen so far? Like,
Dude,
I'm really looking forward. I'm surprised it hasn't started happening yet, but I'm looking forward to see which rats start jumping off of this sinking ship and which ones are tied to it and can't
I mean,
jump
we're
off.
starting to see it, like we've kind of been talking about it already. We're
Yeah,
starting to see it definitely with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I
Marge for
mean,
sure. Yeah.
you've literally got Trump, like, giving her two nicknames, right? She's Wacky Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she's also
Wacky Marge.
Marjorie Taylor Brown, because rotten things
Ooh.
turn brown. Literally, that's
Wow. Is it that simplistic?
yes.
Also, brown people bad, so there you go.
Oof. Boy, that's a double. I didn't expect the double entendre out of Donald Trump. Wow, he's really still with
He's
it.
smarter than you give him
Lion,
credit for.
bear, giraffe.
Yeah.
Those first ones are easy, but man, I couldn't imagine Jasmine Crockett nailing that. And then, like, Thomas Massey, if he's got
Oh,
anything that resembles a testicle, he's gonna be angling
yeah.
off of the ship. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's
You
kind of
you
kind of
have to be
plowing
leaving
that
the
road.
Republican Party after spearheading the Epstein file issue.
Mm.
Like you are like there's no way that the party keeps Trump and lets him stay a part of it. He's got to be persona non grata after being the spearhead of the Epstein file
With it getting to this point,
place. Like,
and all of the political capital that Donald Trump has had to expend on this, like, all of the time, all of the effort that's had to be expended on this, and it's not working. It's not being it's not a useful distraction. It's a compounding effect. It's a multiplier on all the other shit,
yeah,
on killing people extrajudicially in the Caribbean, on deporting the guy that makes your fucking the tortillas for the
yeah,
awesome Mexican
all that.
restaurant down the
It's
street.
a
Like,
added
it's
stressor. It's a comorbidity to everything else that they're
right.
doing that
The
they don't need, but they have to deal with now.
like, the targeting of people based on their skin color and their job, again, like the tortilla guy. Yeah, you make Mexican food, you got to be illegal, get you out of
Oh
here.
yeah, that's
Like,
gotta be yeah.
like, that shit
Oh shit.
doesn't just go away because the guy that's spearheading that also fucks kids. It's like,
Yeah,
wow,
that's
he's
still going on, huh? Yeah.
he's kidnapping people and he fucks kids. This is horrible. Like that's definitely two thoughts that somebody can have in their mind at the same time.
He can be terrible in so many different ways at once. It's almost impressive.
Yeah. That's almost.
Yeah. He might be. I was just thinking about this today. Demonstrably the most awful person to ever be a large part of the public consciousness. Like, aside from like your Hitlers of the world at this point, and some of your despots that are directly responsible for millions of deaths, like it's hard to quite put him up in that rare air yet.
Well, okay,
Just as
so
far as his overall demeanor of just like how horrible he is in every way. Just this slimy,
mhm.
disgusting, conniving, egotistical, and now again demonstrably fucking pedophilic. All of the wonderful accolades that you can put on this guy. I can't think of a more disgustingly bad person to really just be a big part of the consciousness, much less our fucking president.
Mm, mhm,
He's just so awful and gross in every way.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, well, I'll say this. He's a billionaire that I feel like recognized he wasn't going to be able to hit the top of the scoreboard as far as money, as far as wealth. He was behind in that game. But he had a rare opportunity, win a joke of a campaign, win a complete lark of a presidential bid, turn into something serious. He had an opportunity to put himself at the top of another scoreboard, and that is being a despot, being a horrific dictatorial or fascistic, however you want to describe it, being
I think
one of
that's a
these.
fallback. I think it's still the plan A was to get on the top of the first scoreboard, just doing it using the grift and the oligarchic powers he could get from the presidency
Mhm,
to amass a private fortune, much like Vlad has done. Vladimir Putin is, by many estimations, the wealthiest person on earth, possibly by orders of magnitude, depending on the estimate.
mhm, mhm.
And that's just done by siphoning money off of the economy of a much smaller country economically.
Well, I'll say this.
So,
I'll
like,
say this
the
for
potential there to walk away from the presidency as legitimately the top of that scoreboard is a solid plan from a game theory standpoint. Like, I mean,
well,
as far as
so
like his avenues to either reach the top of that scoreboard or failing that, yeah, okay, let's slide over to this scoreboard instead.
so as far as Vlad goes, his wealth is clearly being shown to be hyperinflated just due to the fact that just due to the how he's like barely holding on in Russia, not to power in Russia. That's like absolute under him. But as far as like they're getting their ass kicked still by Ukraine. It ebbs and flows, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somebody with that much wealth and influence and power, you would think wouldn't be getting his dick kicked in that hard in that engagement. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I could be wrong. Could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Could be less about
Well,
expenditure and more about strategy and failures there. But uh,
I think
um,
there's an element there too, like of like one, he's not going to spend any of his personal money on this. Like he's still doing this on the backs of the anemic Russian economy.
Mm-hmm. Not his personal
So
money directly on like buying tanks and shit, because it's not really the way that works. But in using his influence to like to make shit happen, to using using that
advance
money
their
as
weaponry or give
foreign
themselves those
assistance,
force knife.
more
Yeah,
meaningful foreign assistance. I don't know, people can be bought. But as far as Trump goes,
sure.
man, I think the title of president, when he got it, I feel like that is just heroin to this guy. And
Oh
he
gosh,
wants
yeah,
he doesn't care about anything else
absolutely
for the title.
intoxicating.
Being at the top of the billionaire, like the trillionaire now, being at the top of the income scoreboard doesn't matter as much to him, because he can always point at the guy at the top and say, "Yeah, but he wouldn't be there if I didn't put him there." Like he whether true or not, he will
Sure, no,
always
yeah.
lean on that kind of bullshit anyways. And with the title of
It's the pomp and
presidency,
circumstance. He wants that pomp and circumstance that comes with being.
desperately,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
desperately.
yeah. I think he craves that more than the pure because it's all about the ego for him. It's all about just getting flagellated publicly. Like,
Well, that's why the Epstein shit is so potent, I think, against him, because it's not just the kind of thing that could sink his presidency. He could always look at if he was to somehow get removed from office, he could still, at the end of the day, in some circumstances, point to it and be like, the deep state kicked me out, and this and that and the other. But his
yeah,
if his cult of personality dies because he trafficked women, young women,
not just
uh,
traffic,
and
violently, personally, violently raped little girls himself.
right,
But
right,
let's not
and
young women about it. We're talking. Let's not play Megan Kelly here.
oh
Like
god, dude, yeah,
that
yeah,
that fucking moral cesspool of a human being right there. Jesus, Harold.
that shit was
How you
crazy.
fucking take that
It was
creepy.
crazy. Oh, well, I've been waiting for that line to drop, because fucking libertarians had been on that track for a long time too. How old is
Candace
14
Owens was
really?
playing that shit like oh back in the 90s all the high school teachers were banging 15-year-olds. It wasn't nobody cared. So like they already have been kind of trialing that
Well,
defense for a while.
it's like, one, no, they weren't, and two, when it happened, yes,
Yeah.
people cared. Like, not
Yeah.
always, not in every circumstance, not as often as they should have, but I'll fucking tell you right now, people fucking cared.
Absolute historical revisionism for sure.
Yes, yeah, like outright historical
For
revision.
fucking sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, I mean, that's part of the process. That's part of the process of normalization and yeah, I guess just historical revision.
Well, I mean, in the 1970s, King George the King George the Third used his right to prima nocta on the women in his feudal kingdom, and like, yeah,
Yep.
these people act like this shit hasn't been, like, people have been concerned about the age of consent for a long time. A long time. It doesn't matter if great
Yeah.
grandma was 14 when she had grandma. It doesn't matter if that was the case. It wasn't exactly like
And and
universally
that
just
still doesn't make it
chill.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
also
that
it doesn't
doesn't
make it
mean that
right
it was
either.
universally yeah, yeah.
Yeah. um and honestly, like, at the end of the day too, regardless of Trump's actual specific knowledge of or participation in the sexual abuse and trafficking of young women and girls, and maybe boys we don't even know.
And maybe Bill
How
Clinton. Who knows?
and maybe Bill Clinton, maybe Bubba, the trafficking and the blowing of Bubba. The fact remains that there are at least dozens of conspirators that should be publicly named and brought up on charges, and not just the Trump administration. Potentially Democratic administrations have been sitting on this kind of information and not acting on it in an appropriate manner because of the tight influence, the tight coupling between billionaires, between this kind of rich and depraved class of people, and the sociopaths at the top of our political structure. But and every single elected person that had any kind of knowledge of this far-reaching conspiracy is ethically obligated to shed as much light on it as possible, regardless of their party. But Trump played a role in that. So even if he didn't do anything, he still has obviously and overtly participated in the cover-up.
Yeah.
That on its own is damning enough. That on its own is damning enough.
Of its own, yes. In and of its own, that should be enough to end any presidency.
Mhm.
Just that level of involvement.
Mhm.
We'll see where that gets us nowadays, but
I don't know, man. Maybe I guess we're political dissidents. So shot?
yeah. Why not? Line me up against the wall. I'll take it.
In this economy, the bullets though.
Ooh, you're right. Probably gonna have to fall on a sword, aren't we? A nice, cheap, reusable sword. Ouch. That's gonna suck. All right.
I
Uh,
you know, I don't really have a whole lot else outside of just in summation, the overt and consistent and wide ranging corruption in this administration. I mean, and the way that it's directly in line with the cognitive failures, the cognitive decay of Trump in real time, and also how it closely can be mapped with no imagination at all to Hitler and his rise and downfall from his belligerence, his populist appeals that end up being spun into this kind of nationalistic, racist fervor, and even down to like Hitler deploying assets that he like overvalues in his conflicts, where like Hitler relied on the salvation of troops that had already been actually annihilated at some points, like in his delusions, thinking that these people were still out there to save the day. Trump relies on like a legal team that without a widely stacked judiciary wouldn't be able to litigate its way out of a parking ticket that was written on a napkin. Like these like all of this actually gives me a little bit of hope in some ways, because one, the opposing party, the Democratic Party, made huge victories and fumbled, and the party itself is also eating it. Like that party is also eating itself in some ways.
Yeah.
The destruction of the most deleterious parts of our establishment, whether it's done by Donald Trump and his belligerence and his unitary executive theory on fucking crack, and the establishment Democrats and this sort of like controlled opposition, milk toast, obey the traditions kind of, like the death of those establishments, of those traditions is very positive. It's a very
it
good
sounds
thing.
more and more appealing all the time. This could be a very cathartic effect. We need that wildfire to sweep through and burn away some of this detritus here
Mhm. And there are
and
ways to
allow
do
for
it.
some new growth to rise up.
There are ways to do it without a purging flame, but in the environment where the flame is there, what else are you going to do but recognize like we should kind of let it burn some of this shit at this point.
Mm.
I don't know how
The
else.
flame is healthy to a degree. You have to burn the old away so the new can grow.
Hmm. Hmm. It's
Oh,
probably one of the morally, like inside, like in myself, it's hard to cope with. Kind of recognizing that I sort of have to be along for the ride of just watching this overtly bloated and corrupt system that started before Trump like suffocate under its own weight and watches millions of people their lives and my own
gonna
included
suffer the
be
consequences of
suffer
that. Yeah.
suffer the consequences of it.
It's
And it,
not gonna be an easy, simple thing.
not at all. I feel like we definitely have gotten to the point of no return where it's not only inevitable, it has to happen. It has to happen.
To some degree or another. To some degree, there's gonna have to come a day of reckoning. There's gonna have to be cleansing of some sort.
I mean, it's occurring in front of us. Like
Yeah.
you know, I truly think, at least in my opinion, we're watching the Ouroboros eat enough of itself that it starts to gag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
that, and we kind of need it to do that. We kind of need it to suffocate on itself. We kind of need it to eat itself to death so that we can grow anything else out of its fucking corpse. Like, because what has it done to serve
Yeah.
anybody? Certainly anybody that would listen to this podcast. You know, what the fuck has it done?
Nothing.
What the fuck has it done that
Jack.
we shouldn't have already been able to do for ourselves? As far as like when you're talking about like the Democratic Party maybe led the way on you know, gay people being able to be married, but that's something that you should have already had for yourselves anyways.
Yeah. I mean, look, FDR's second Bill of Rights that was proposed, like he was talking about some shit like it seems crazy now, but like he was bringing up some like fucking universal health care,
Hmm.
universal basic income. Like
Hmm.
there were some
Hmm.
pretty far-reaching and pretty progressive ideas that were like, if given more time, if given more political latitude, like this is where they wanted to go then. Imagine
Hmm.
if that dream would have been realized, if we would have able
Right.
achieved sensible things like just a universal health care even at that
just just
time and never
just universal health,
that
just
one thing. That one
that
thing.
one thing, millions of people,
The
millions
positive
of people.
ramifications of that, just compounded over all these decades, would be astronomical.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, honestly, even if it was just focusing on improving the quality of public education, ma-
Universal pre-K, that was one of the other pillars.
improving the quality of public education and expanding it to including colleges, which I mean that's really what needs to happen to that whole system. Is that should all just be a that should be public education
Top
available
to
to
bottom.
people. And then and universal healthcare. This whole country would be the kind of economic powerhouse with a satisfaction that is unrivaled in the rest of the world. I think, like it,
Mhm.
because frankly speaking,
We're
one thing that.
hamstringing ourselves economically. We're fucking stepping on our own dick constantly.
Mhm.
When, like, if our population wasn't so constrained by this shit, they would be more motivated and healthy and less expensive because they would be more healthy and
Mhm.
just so many ways that the positive snowballing effect take us in that direction where we're negatively snowballing the other way. Like,
Well, and after decades of a kind of like colonialistic like colonialism plus capitalism expansion across the world and exporting not only trade ideas and but also our culture across the world. We had one for a long time. If you're again looking at it from the shrewd sort of amoral game theory perspective, we had kind of won the cultural victory in a lot of ways in the world. And
yeah,
if we improve the material conditions of the people that live here, being American is like the best thing you could be. We had already sold that idea to so many
yeah,
people,
that
so many other.
brand was the consensus around the world.
Hmm.
Like, the American brand had achieved that level of
Hmm. Just an ounce of
notoriety.
follow through on that. Just you know what I mean? Just walk that line a little bit.
We could have been that Camelot for the rest of the world,
Hmm.
and then some.
Hmm.
Like, that was attainable.
Wasted potential, even from like the even from again a perspective that I don't even fully agree with. I don't agree with the idea of expanding our cultural influence through basically militaristically
Yeah.
enforced trade agreements and things like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
believe in the kind of way that we expanded that across the world. But looking at it from the
Great.
perspective of that might, or of people that are real America firsters, how could you not just want to ride that cultural victory out? Like
Yes,
how
you
like
have that advantage. Why waste it? You already have that advantage baked into the cake for you.
mhm,
Much like our soft power, then such an absolutely huge
uh,
part of what makes America powerful throughout the world in foreign relations is just and we've been absolutely throwing that away left and right and burning our bridges behind us at every turn and squandering any sort of political capital, goodwill, soft power, what have you. Just
well, and soft power more and more is showing itself to be very aptly named because much like soft tissue, it doesn't stick around long enough to really even be fossilized, right? Like it doesn't. There are the when it's gone, it's gone. It goes. Like once you start eroding at that soft power, it
yeah.
leaves like in this kind of like narcissistic and belligerent kind of way. It's gone. It doesn't stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, we've completely lost so much of that in
Mm,
the eyes of these other countries that
mm,
are never going to look to America the same way again. So much of them has been just laid waste.
mhm. Any final thoughts for us?
Oh, shucky doodles. You know what? That, despite Chuck Schumer, we still have a good chunk of that momentum.
Mhm.
The American people realize just how destructive what's going on is, and with as these Epstein connections become more and more irrefutable and harder for them to deny, it's gonna become even harder for the Democrats to fuck this up. So eventually, they're only to have victory foisted upon them if they don't find a really impressive way to get out of it.
Mhm.
So all that to say that momentum is on our side, and we have to keep that running.
Mhm.
We have to double down on whatever protests we can, whatever avenues we can to, one, continue to protect our our fellow man from continued ICE incursions into the communities and whatnot. There's gotta continue to be, and I think can increase a kind of solidarity. We need to realize again, and I think I brought this up last time, more and more, there's more of us than there are of them, and continue to press that advantage.
Mhm.
But more importantly, we need to just continue to keep this momentum and don't let Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries continue to fucking snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Like, other way around, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to push our own party kicking and screaming, being on the right side of the history.
Mhm.
Assuming that the Democratic Party is still the best vehicle to not outright fascism.
Mhm.
So as
Mhm.
long as that continues to be the case, we're going to have to push them in the right direction. But it can be done, and
Mhm.
it's being done. And even with setbacks like this and with friends like these, who needs enemies? But we still have a strong fucking headwind right now, and we
Mhm.
got to keep pushing on that.
Yeah,
So that's it.
I agree with all that. One thing I think that's really important for people to know about the election that happened before the end of the shutdown is that Democratic results from that were not just a result of the shutdown happening and the unity that we saw there. That was itself a momentum like multiplier for sure.
No.
By
Yeah.
like without a doubt that helped a lot, and it might have even swung some races, but the core of the momentum was not about that. It is about a disillusionment, one, with this fake populism that Trump espoused, and it is also a recognition of how deleterious his policies actually are as far as deportations. I feel like the
Yeah.
actions of ICE are driving a lot of the disapproval of Donald Trump's administration because they
Yeah.
legitimately are still having problems hiring enough ICE agents to do the shit. They do an incredible amount of shit with a few fucking idiots. But
Yeah.
they want a lot more idiots, and it's harder and harder for them to find them every fucking day. And that is partially proven in the demographics that were won back by Democrats in multiple states across the country in races big and small for positions you
Yep.
maybe have never fucking heard of. Like people,
Yeah.
like demographics that swung back indicate like the deportations are a big part of the issue. So it's not just
Yeah.
the shutdown. The shutdown was important, and yeah, Schumer pissed a lot of good things away there. But whatever. That's like you said, we have to drag these people kicking and screaming along the way. We need to keep working to make it very obvious to whoever is going to inherit the leadership after Chuck Schumer, because his time is definitely fucking limited at this point. And if he wants to
Yes.
hold on to it, at the very least, he's going to have to acquiesce to these things. But we need to make it apparent to these people that we want meaningful material change. Meaningful material change.
100%.
And fighting for ACA
Couldn't agree more.
subsidies is the bare minimum because that's not even meaningful change, not even meaningful
Yeah.
material change. That is meaningful maintaining a status quo that at least keeps people from
Yeah.
fucking dying today, so we can change the shit
In the future.
right
Yeah.
after, right after, and leaning on them on that shit is imperative. So like, I think that this is one of the best times as we're starting to ramp up more and more for midterm elections. I feel like this is one of the best times to reach out to your local Democratic representation, especially if you
Yes.
live in a district that has one of these establishment hacks, even if they're a full-on bought and paid for APAC shill. It doesn't fucking matter. They respond to pressure. So
Yep.
bring them pressure. Bring them pressure. It is vital.
Actual phone calls and letters move them more than anything else outside of money.
Mm-hmm.
That shows engagement for them a lot more than anything digitally you can do. Actually calling up their offices and make some fucking staffer answer a phone or open a letter. Like that shows a level of engagement that hurts their ears up. So
Well, and there's momentum behind this, just that idea too of again of just material change, because not in those elections, Zoran Mamdani won in New York, and he ran on material benefit, ran on actual
yeah,
change, and it
tangible, real shit.
and people that voted for him didn't care how realistic it was as far as his ability to actually make it happen to get it through Albany. They support the idea. The
Yeah,
efficacy of Mamdani's ability to push that through establishment roadblocks, that's for the constituency to work out. Honestly, that's for them to keep that pressure up and
yeah,
tell like Hochul to respect this shit in Albany, to push to allow these material changes to happen. And you can do that you could do that everywhere. You could do that. We could do that in
yeah,
Missouri.
yeah,
It takes
yeah.
leaning on these people.
He is a symbol of the people's will. Like
Mhm.
he is not this idea. He is a symbol of what the people want. Like
Mhm. Mhm. And in this in it was we're leading up to the midterms, especially too, I'll say the last little point, and putting that word out to Democrats, putting that pressure on them, making them have to coalesce behind meaningful, what would end up being a populist message of providing material benefit and easing the undue belligerent burden of Donald Trump's war in our society, his war on our cities, his war on American
yeah,
citizens, his war on people that do nothing but make our society better by by providing backbreaking labor in a lot of
yeah.
situations. Running on
The
a
backbone of our economy in a lot of ways.
as it's showing to be, running on that kind of coherent message is a way to overturn naturally gerrymandering in a state like Missouri. If we
Yeah,
somehow if we somehow won another district and we turned it to a 3-5 Democrat Republican balance going to the House of Representatives from Missouri because they gerrymandered too hard, because they fucked up when they busted up Kansas City, if that was to happen,
yep,
that would be huge and a massive indictment on the efficacy of the Republican Party at large as well, like at every level, at the state, at the federal
yep,
level, at their ability to, they can't even cheat to win. If we can make it
yeah,
look like they can't even cheat to win, that is how you end this shit. That's how you turn Donald Trump into
yep,
the lamest of ducks and fucking stop this shit from going any further. It's That's how it happens from this point.
yep.
That's I feel like that's just what we need to do. That's where people should be focusing their effort, is on that positive message.
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. So yeah, let's go do it.
Let's go do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
go fix this shit.
Oh, God. Robo Sanders for president 2028. No, it's gonna be I'm throwing it out there. It's gonna be the Unity ticket. It's gonna be AOC MTG. They're gonna run against each other, but they're gonna run against each other with the promise. They're gonna run against each other with no vice presidential nominee because they're gonna run under the old
Promise that
system.
the loser, yeah. Fucking some team of rivals bullshit here. Holy smokes.
2028, bitches.
God, that is an insane fucking notion. Fucking insane.
Yeah,
Love
talk
it.
about
Insane.
stoner thoughts. Jesus Christ.
Ooh wee, yeah. Man, I don't know if I'm stoned enough for that one yet.
You and everybody else.